Hey family, welcome back to the channel. We're having a conversation that honestly might be one of the most important ones you'll have all year. Not because I'm some guru, not because I have all the answers, but because what we're about to talk about can literally change the course of your life if you're open enough to hear it. We're talking about mentality. Not money, not jobs, not how to hustle, not what stocks to invest in mentality. Because here's the truth that a lot of people don't realize. The difference between people who succeed and people who stay stuck for years, sometimes for their whole lives, is not how much money they start with. It's not what family they came from. It's not who they know. It's how they think. And before you even get defensive like, "Well, bro, you don't know my situation, my country, my family, my struggles." Trust me, I get it. Life gets real. And I'm not here to pretend like opportunities are the same for everybody, because they're not. But what I am telling you is your mentality is the one thing nobody can take from you. And it's the one thing that can open doors for you even in the most impossible situations. See, rich people and broke people don't just have different amounts of money. They have different ways of seeing the world. Same exact situation, different reaction. Same opportunity, different decision. Same challenge, different mindset. That's what makes the difference. And what I'm going to do in this video is break down exactly what those mentalities are, how they show up in everyday life, and how you can start shifting your thinking starting today. I'll share stories, examples, even myths that people believe about money and success that are keeping them broke without them realizing it. So, if you're ready, grab a drink, get comfortable, because we're about to unpack this thing together. Now let's start with something simple. Have you ever noticed how some people, no matter what happens to them, always find a way to land on their feet? Like life will throw them curveball after curveball, and somehow they're still moving, still growing, still making things happen. Meanwhile, there are other people who, with the same 24 hours, the same type of setbacks, will sit in one spot and complain for years. It's not magic, it's mentality. Rich-minded people focus on opportunities. Broke-minded people focus on problems. It's as simple as that. When a rich-minded person loses their job, their first thought isn't, "I'm doomed. Life's unfair." It's, "Okay, what can I build? Who can I call? What skill can I learn? What's the lesson in this?" A broke-minded person loses their job, and it becomes, "See, nothing good ever happens for me. The system's against me. Rich people are evil. Life's unfair. I might as well give up." Now hear me. I'm not shaming anybody for how they react to life. Struggles are real. But I am saying that if you keep reacting to life with a broke mentality, you'll keep staying in broke situations. And I don't just mean financially broke. I mean mentally broke, emotionally broke, opportunity-wise broke. Let's go deeper. Rich-minded people see failure as a lesson. Broke-minded people see failure as proof that they should quit. Listen, every successful person you admire has failed multiple times. The difference is, they didn't let the failure define them. They used it as data. They looked at it and said, "Okay, this didn't work. Why? What can I do differently? What did this teach me? What skill did I gain even though I lost money? Who did I meet through this experience?" Meanwhile, a broke-minded person fails once, and it becomes a personal identity. "See, I knew I wasn't cut out for this. People like me don't win. Business is too risky. Better to stay where it's safe." And can I be honest with you? Safety is the most expensive thing in the world. Because when you live your whole life playing it safe, you never find out what you're capable of. You never build anything worth having. And years later, you realize that safe was the scariest choice you could have made because it kept you in the same place while the world moved on. Let's talk about money for a second. Rich-minded people spend money on assets. Broke-minded people spend money on liabilities and instant pleasure. What's an asset? Something that puts money in your pocket or increases in value over time. Could be a business, a stock, a skill, a piece of equipment, even relationships or connections that open doors for you. A liability? That's anything that takes money out of your pocket and gives you nothing back but temporary satisfaction. And see, a rich-minded person understands this even when they're broke. You don't have to be rich to have a rich mentality. If you have $50 and you spend $30 on a book or a course that teaches you a skill that's rich mentality, if you take that $50 and buy clothes you don't need or go out drinking because YOLO, that's broke mentality. One mentality is investing in your future. The other is renting happiness for 5 minutes. Now let's talk about time. Rich-minded people value time as much as, if not more than, money. Broke-minded people waste time like it's unlimited. If you give 2 people the same 24 hours, watch how they use it. One person will wake up late, scroll social media for 2 hours, complain about how tired they are, watch television, hang out, and then complain about how they don't have opportunities. Another person will wake up early, learn a new skill online, reach out to people, practice something, work on their business, read, or listen to something that grows their mind, and by the end of the year, their life looks completely different. It wasn't magic. It wasn't luck. It was how they spent their hours. Here's another big one: the people you surround yourself with. Rich-minded people intentionally build circles that challenge them, inspire them, and stretch their thinking. Broke-minded people stay in comfort zones with people who complain just like them. You can't level up if everyone around you is comfortable being stuck. If you want to shift your mentality, sometimes you have to shift your circle, or at least what you're exposing your mind to. If you don't have successful people around you physically, they exist online. They wrote books, they made videos, they recorded podcasts. You can plug into that energy right now, but you have to be intentional about it. Let's keep going, because this is one of my favorites. Rich-minded people believe in continuous learning. Broke-minded people think learning ends after school. And that's one of the biggest lies we were sold. Life will outgrow you if you stop learning. The market changes, the world evolves, skills become outdated, new opportunities pop up. If you're not learning, you're falling behind. It's that simple. The average millionaire reads a book a month or more. Not because they're trying to flex, but because they understand that knowledge compounds. Ideas stack. One sentence can unlock a whole new way of thinking for you. But broke-minded people will binge-watch 6 hours of shows and tell you they don't have time to learn a new skill or read a book. And then wonder why life feels stuck. Now here's a truth most people don't like to hear. Rich-minded people are open to taking calculated risks. Broke-minded people avoid risks because they're scared to fail. Nothing good happens in your comfort zone, ever. Doesn't mean you go out here making reckless moves, but you do need to get comfortable making decisions where the outcome isn't guaranteed. That's where growth happens. That's where opportunities live. And the people who win in life are the ones who learn how to get back up quickly when they fail. Which brings me to this: rich-minded people look for multiple streams of income. Broke-minded people depend on one paycheck. Listen, job security is an illusion. If the pandemic didn't teach us that, nothing will. The goal should always be to build multiple ways money can find you. Could be a side hustle, an online store, freelance work, a service, investments, something. Because one paycheck means one decision, one mistake, one crisis, and your whole financial life is hanging by a thread. Rich-minded people ask, "How can I afford this?" Broke-minded people say, "I can't afford this." Notice the difference? One question opens your mind to possibilities. The other shuts it down instantly. When you say, "I can't afford this," your brain stops working. When you ask, "How can I afford this?" your brain starts searching for answers, ideas, strategies. And finally, rich-minded people practice discipline and delayed gratification. Broke-minded people chase instant pleasure. We live in a generation that wants everything right now. Fast food, fast followers, fast money, and it's ruining people's futures because great things take time. If you can master patience, discipline, and consistency, you can change your whole life. And while we're still on this conversation about mentality, let's clear up another major misconception a lot of people carry around without even realizing it. See, a broke mentality will make you think that other people's success somehow takes away from your own chances to win. It's this idea that if somebody else is shining, it means there's less light for you. That's nonsense. Rich-minded people don't compete out of insecurity, they collaborate out of confidence. Because here's the truth. Success isn't a pizza with a limited number of slices. It's not like if one person gets a big piece, there's less for you. Life's abundance doesn't run out. Money doesn't run out. Opportunities don't run out. The only thing that runs out is your willingness to chase them. The rich-minded person says, "Yo, how can I learn from this person? How can I work with them? How can we grow together?" The broke-minded person says, "Look at them showing off. They think they're better than me. They must have cheated their way to the top." And can I be real? That type of thinking will have you stuck forever. Because when you're so busy being envious of other people's wins, you're not focusing on your own lane. You're wasting energy. You're blocking your own blessings because your mind is in the wrong place. Rich-minded people root for others because they understand that when you clap for somebody else's victory, it trains your mind to expect good things for yourself too. It's called abundance mentality, and it's powerful. Now let's flip the conversation a little bit and talk about how rich and broke mentalities handle criticism. Because you're going to get criticized in this life, whether you're doing good or bad, whether you're winning or losing, whether you stay quiet or speak up. That's guaranteed. The question is, how do you respond to it? Rich-minded people welcome constructive criticism. They see it as feedback. They understand that sometimes you can't see your own blind spots, and having someone point them out, even if it stings a little, is actually a blessing. A broke-minded person gets defensive. They take it personal. "Oh, you think you're better than me? Who are you to tell me what to do?" And they shut down. That's dangerous, because it means you stop growing. If you want to level up, you have to be coachable. You have to be willing to admit you don't know everything. You have to be open to learning from people who are ahead of you in certain areas. Pride will keep you poor, not just financially, but emotionally, mentally, spiritually. Now here's another thing rich-minded people ask for help. Broke-minded people suffer in silence, out of fear, shame, or pride. Listen, you are not designed to figure everything out by yourself. There's no badge for struggling alone. Some of the biggest breakthroughs in my life came because I humbled myself and reached out to somebody who knew more than me. Whether it was a business mentor, a friend, a book author, a podcast guest, somebody who had walked the road I was trying to walk and could give me wisdom. Broke mentality says, "If I ask for help, I look weak. People will judge me. I'll feel small." Rich mentality says, "If I don't ask for help, I'm slowing down my own progress. Let me learn from people who've been where I want to go." And while we're on that, let's talk about ego for a second, because ego is one of the biggest killers of success. Rich-minded people learn how to manage their ego. Broke-minded people are controlled by it. Your ego will convince you that you don't need to learn anything new. It'll tell you you're too good to start small. It'll make you believe that admitting you're struggling is a weakness. And before you know it, you've missed out on opportunities because you were too proud to look like a beginner. Rich-minded people aren't afraid to be students again, even after they win. Especially after they win. Which brings me to another mindset difference: how people handle small beginnings. Rich-minded people respect humble starts. They understand that everything big was once small. Every millionaire had a $0 day. Every major brand started as an idea scribbled in a notebook. Every empire began as a single step. But broke-minded people want to skip the process. They want the finished product without the foundation. They'll say, "I could never do that, it's too small. That business idea won't make millions overnight. That side hustle is beneath me." And because of that mentality, they stay stuck. And because of that mentality, they stay stuck. Let me tell you, some of the most successful people you admire today were doing things years ago that you never would have expected. Delivering newspapers, cleaning houses, selling things door to door, cutting grass, driving old cars, working jobs they hated while building their dreams at night. But what separated them was their mentality. They weren't embarrassed to start small because they knew they wouldn't stay there. Rich-minded people don't attach their identity to their starting point. They attach it to their vision. Let's shift gears and talk about responsibility. Rich-minded people take radical ownership of their lives. Broke-minded people blame everything and everybody else. If something goes wrong, a rich-minded person says, "Okay, what part of this do I own? What could I have done better? How can I fix it or move differently next time?" They understand that while not everything is your fault, everything is your responsibility. Broke-minded people, on the other hand, live in victim mode. It's my boss's fault. It's the government. It's my family. It's my circumstances. It's the economy. It's bad luck. And the problem with that mentality is if everything is someone else's fault, you've just given away your power to change your life. When you take ownership, you take your power back. It might be uncomfortable at first because it forces you to confront some hard truths about your habits, decisions, and mindset. But it's the only way you grow. Now, let's get into how rich and broke mentalities handle opportunities. Rich-minded people prepare for opportunities before they arrive. Broke-minded people wait for opportunities to show up before they start getting ready. Big difference. You ever notice how some people seem to be lucky all the time? Things just fall into their lap. New job offers, business deals, speaking gigs, big connections. It's not luck. It's preparation meeting opportunity. They've been working on themselves quietly, learning skills, building relationships, staying consistent. So when the door opened, they were ready to walk through it. Broke-minded people are reactive. They'll see a big opportunity and say, "Man, I wish I could do that, but I'm not ready." Or, "I wish someone would give me a shot like that," but they haven't been preparing. You gotta stay ready so you don't have to get ready. Another big one is how people talk about money. Rich-minded people have a healthy, positive relationship with money. Broke-minded people either worship it or resent it. Some people grow up hearing things like, "Money is the root of all evil," or "Rich people are greedy," or "If you're wealthy, you must have done something shady to get there." That's broke mentality. Money is a tool. It takes on the personality of the person who holds it. If you're generous and kind, money will amplify that. If you're selfish and cruel, money will amplify that too. Rich-minded people see money as a resource, a way to create freedom, take care of family, bless others, and fund ideas. Broke-minded people either fear money or chase it so obsessively that it controls them. And speaking of control, rich-minded people control their emotions when making decisions. Broke-minded people let their emotions dictate their decisions. Whether it's anger, jealousy, fear, or impatience when you make big life or financial moves based purely on emotion, you usually regret it later. Rich-minded people pause. They reflect. They seek wisdom. They don't let temporary feelings create permanent problems. Now, I want to talk about something most people overlook: health. Rich-minded people understand that health is wealth. Broke-minded people neglect their bodies chasing money. Listen, what's the point of making all this money if you're too sick, stressed, or burnt out to enjoy it? If you can't play with your kids, travel the world, or wake up without pain in your body? Rich-minded people prioritize rest, exercise, proper nutrition, and mental health. They know it's not just about grinding 24/7. It's about creating a sustainable, healthy lifestyle where you can actually enjoy the fruits of your labor. Broke-minded people sacrifice their health for short-term gains and end up paying for it later. We could go on, but I want to land this next point heavy because it might be the one thing that's keeping you from your breakthrough. Rich-minded people believe it's possible for them. Broke-minded people secretly believe it's only possible for others. Your belief system matters. If deep down you believe you're not worthy of success, or that you'll always be broke, or that good things never happen to people like you, your actions will follow that belief, even if you don't realize it. Your life is a reflection of what you subconsciously believe you deserve. That's why mindset work matters. That's why speaking life over yourself matters. That's why setting goals, visualizing, and surrounding yourself with people who uplift you matters. Because if you can shift your beliefs, you can shift your entire life. All right, I'll stop here for now. But trust me when I say we're just scratching the surface. If you're still watching, it means something in your spirit is ready for more. And I'm telling you, you've got what it takes. Your mentality shapes your reality. If you're not where you want to be right now, start by checking your mindset. Shift it. Feed it. Grow it. Because rich or broke, it's not about how much money you have right now. It's about how you think about money, time, opportunity, and failure. And when you change your mindset, everything around you eventually has to catch up. That's it for today, family. If this message spoke to you, do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment down below telling me one mentality shift you're making starting today. Let's grow together. I'm proud of you already. And if you're down for it, I'll keep making these videos so we can all keep growing. Your future self is already proud of you. Now go make it happen. Catch you in the next one. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is My Name, and today we're diving deep into a topic that quite honestly has the power to transform your entire life if you let it, and that's building a wealthy mindset. Now, before we even get into this, I want you to take a second and really think about what wealth means to you. Not just money in the bank, not just fancy cars or big houses, but real, lasting wealth. Wealth in your spirit, wealth in your health, wealth in your relationships, and yes, wealth in your finances too. Because here's the thing, a wealthy mindset isn't about chasing money. It's about creating a life so full, so abundant, that money becomes just one of the many rewards you receive for showing up as your highest self every day. And I know a lot of people hear the term wealthy mindset and immediately think about overnight success stories or viral social media moments that turn people into millionaires overnight. But the truth is, sustainable wealth, the kind that lasts, the kind that changes your family tree, the kind that allows you to live life on your own terms, comes from building a certain way of thinking, a way of being, a way of moving through the world that consistently attracts opportunities, resources, and people who align with your vision. It's about planting seeds today that you might not see grow for years, but trusting in the process and knowing that every small, intentional action you take is a brick in the foundation of your wealthy life. So let's talk about what actually goes into creating a wealthy mindset. Because it's not just about setting goals or creating vision boards, though those are great tools. It's about shifting the way you think at a fundamental level. It's about challenging the beliefs you grew up with about money, success, and your own worthiness. It's about learning how to manage your emotions, your energy, and your environment so that you're constantly in alignment with the version of yourself who already has everything you desire. One of the first things you have to do to build a wealthy mindset is get crystal clear on your why. Why do you want to build wealth? Why do you want financial freedom? Why do you want to create a life of abundance? Because if you don't have a compelling reason, you'll quit when it gets hard. And trust me, it will get hard. There will be days when nothing seems to be working, when you're questioning if it's even worth it, when the people around you don't believe in your vision. Your why is what will keep you going in those moments. It's what will remind you that the temporary discomfort you're feeling now is nothing compared to the freedom, impact, and legacy you're building. And your why can't be shallow. It can't just be about proving people wrong or flexing on Instagram. It has to be something that lights a fire in your soul. Maybe it's about breaking generational curses. Maybe it's about giving your children a life you never had. Maybe it's about having the resources to uplift your community, to start businesses, to fund scholarships, to create opportunities for others. Whatever it is, write it down. Keep it somewhere you can see it every day. Make it the foundation of everything you do. Now let's talk about your environment. Because you can have the best intentions in the world, but if you're constantly surrounded by negativity, scarcity, and people who don't believe in growth, it's going to be an uphill battle. You need to audit your circle. Who are you spending time with? What kind of conversations are you having? Are they about ideas, opportunities, and growth? Or are they about gossip, complaints, and limitations? You become like the people you surround yourself with. It's inevitable. If you hang around 5 broke, bitter people, guess who's going to be number 6? But if you surround yourself with people who are driven, optimistic, and focused on creating abundance, their mindset will start to rub off on you. And in today's digital world, you don't even have to know these people personally. You can read their books, watch their interviews, listen to their podcasts. Immerse yourself in content that uplifts you, challenges you, and expands your perspective. I want to be clear, though, this isn't about cutting people off and acting like you're better than them. It's about protecting your energy and being intentional about who you allow to influence your mindset. You can love people from a distance. You can limit your exposure to negativity without becoming arrogant or judgmental. Because at the end of the day, your mindset is your responsibility. No one else can build it for you. And speaking of responsibility, that's another core principle of a wealthy mindset: extreme ownership. Wealthy people don't play the victim. They don't blame the government, the economy, their parents, or their circumstances for their situation. Even if something isn't their fault, they take responsibility for how they respond to it. Because when you take ownership of your life, you take back your power. You stop waiting for someone to save you. You stop making excuses. You realize that while you can't control everything that happens to you, you can control how you interpret it, how you learn from it, and how you use it to fuel your growth. This mindset shift is crucial, because as long as you believe that your success is in someone else's hands, you'll always be at their mercy. But when you adopt a mindset of extreme ownership, you start to see opportunities where others see obstacles. You start to believe in your ability to create change, not just in your life, but in the world around you. And that belief is magnetic. It attracts resources, connections, and breakthroughs that you couldn't have imagined when you were stuck in a victim mentality. Now, let's talk about money itself for a moment. Because part of building a wealthy mindset is redefining your relationship with money. A lot of us grew up with limiting beliefs about money, that it's evil, that wanting it makes you greedy, that there's never enough, that rich people are bad, or that struggling is noble. And if you hold on to those beliefs, no matter how hard you work, you'll subconsciously sabotage your own success. You have to start seeing money as a tool, not a master. It's neither good nor bad, it just amplifies who you already are. If you're generous, kind, and wise when you have a little, you'll be the same when you have a lot. If you're reckless and insecure when you're broke, money will only magnify those traits. So instead of demonizing or idolizing money, start viewing it as a resource to create freedom, impact, and opportunities for yourself and others, and learn how to manage it. Because mindset without skill set is a recipe for frustration. Study financial literacy. Understand how to budget, invest, save, and build multiple streams of income. Learn about assets and liabilities. Understand taxes, credit, and debt management. The more competent you become with money, the more confident you'll feel in your ability to build and sustain wealth. But here's the thing, don't just chase money for money's sake. Chase purpose. Chase impact. Chase mastery. Because when you align your work with your gifts, your passions, and a genuine desire to serve others, money becomes a natural byproduct. The wealthiest people in the world aren't necessarily the ones who chased the biggest paychecks. They're the ones who solved the biggest problems, created the most value, and served the most people. And that brings us to the final principle I want to leave you with: contribution. A wealthy mindset isn't just about what you can get, it's about what you can give. Because true wealth is measured by the lives you impact, not just the numbers in your bank account. And the beautiful thing is, you don't have to wait until you're rich to start giving. You can give your time, your energy, your knowledge, your kindness. You can mentor someone, volunteer, support a cause you believe in, or simply be a source of positivity in someone's life. When you adopt a mindset of abundance and contribution, you start to realize that there's always enough opportunities, enough resources, enough love, enough success to go around. And that energy is contagious. It draws people to you. It opens doors you didn't even know existed. It creates a ripple effect that extends far beyond what you can see. So to recap, building a wealthy mindset is about defining your why, thinking long-term, developing emotional intelligence, auditing your environment, taking extreme ownership, redefining your relationship with money, committing to lifelong learning, aligning with purpose, and leading with contribution. It's about becoming the type of person who naturally attracts wealth by the way you think, the way you move, and the way you show up in the world. And I promise you, if you commit to this journey, if you do the inner work, if you stay consistent, your life will change in ways you can't even imagine. Not overnight, not without challenges, but in ways that are real, lasting, and deeply fulfilling. Thank you so much for watching. If you got value from this, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Share this with someone who needs to hear it. And as always, keep striving, keep growing, and keep building that wealthy mindset. I'll see you in the next one. Hey everyone! Welcome back to the channel. I'm so glad you're here, because today we're diving into a topic that can literally change the trajectory of your entire life: why you should start investing in your 20s. Yeah, you heard me right. If you're in your 20s right now, this is your golden window. This is your chance to get ahead of the game, to build wealth, to secure your future, and to set yourself up for a life of freedom, options, and peace of mind. And even if you're not in your 20s anymore, stick around, because it's never too late to start. But if you're young and you're watching this, trust me when I say, this could be one of the most important videos you ever watch. So why is investing in your 20s so crucial? Well, let's start with one simple but powerful concept. Time. Time is your best friend when it comes to investing. You see, when you're young, you have something that people in their 30s, 40s, and 50s would literally pay to have back time. And with time, your money has the opportunity to grow exponentially thanks to something called compound interest. Albert Einstein famously called compound interest the eighth wonder of the world. He said, "He who understands it, earns it. He who doesn't, pays it." So, let's break that down. Compound interest is basically when your money makes money, and then that money makes more money. Think of it like a snowball rolling down a hill. At first, it's small, but as it keeps rolling, it picks up more snow, gets bigger, rolls faster, and grows massively by the time it gets to the bottom. The earlier you start rolling that snowball, the bigger it can get by the time you need it. Hill. Let's say you start investing just $100 a month at age 22, and you get an average return of about 8% a year, which is roughly what the stock market has averaged historically. By the time you're 62, you'd have over $350,000. And that's from just $100 a month. Now imagine if you could do $200, $500, or even $1,000 a month. The numbers get ridiculous. The key is starting early, because the money you invest in your 20s has more time to grow than money you invest later on. And it's not just about how much you invest, it's about how long you give it to grow. There's a famous example of two people. Let's call them Sarah and James. Sarah starts investing at 22 and stops at 30. She puts away $5,000 a year for those 8 years, then never invests another penny. James, on the other hand, waits until he's 30 to start investing the same $5,000 a year and does it until he's 60. So Sarah invests a total of $40,000 and James invests $155,000. But by the time they're both 60, Sarah actually has more Mbicosany than James. How? Her money had an 8-year head start and more time for compound interest to do its magic. That's the power of starting early. But aside from compound interest, let's talk about what else investing in your 20s does for you. First off, it builds discipline. When you start investing young, you develop the habit of paying yourself first. Before you splurge on the latest phone, the fanciest clothes, or another round of drinks at the bar, you learn to set aside a portion of your income for your future. That discipline translates into other areas of your life too. You become more mindful of your spending, you start budgeting, and you get a better handle on your financial health overall. Another benefit is financial literacy. Investing forces you to learn about money, markets, risk, and opportunity. You start reading about stocks, bonds, real estate, mutual funds, ETFs, and maybe even newer asset classes, like cryptocurrencies. You get curious about how economies work, what makes businesses grow, and how global events impact your portfolio. That kind of knowledge is priceless because it empowers you to make smarter decisions, not just with investing, but in your career, your business ventures, and your personal finances. Now, let's address one of the biggest myths I hear all the time. I'll start investing when I make more money. Listen, waiting for the perfect time to invest is like waiting for the perfect time to have kids, buy a house, or start a business. It doesn't exist. There will always be reasons to delay. You might have student loans, a low-paying job, or feel like you barely have enough to cover rent and groceries. But the truth is, you don't need a lot to start. Thanks to technology, there are now investing apps and platforms that let you start with as little as $5 or $10. The most important thing is to start. The habit matters more than the amount in the beginning. Another thing people worry about is risk. Yes, investing involves risk. Markets go up and down. But guess what? So does life. The key is that when you're young, you can afford to take more risks because you have time to recover. Market dips and recessions are inevitable, but they're temporary. Historically, markets have always recovered and reached new highs. So when you start investing in your 20s, you can ride out those downturns and reap the benefits of long-term growth. You won't have to panic, sell, or worry about short-term fluctuations because your horizon is decades away. And let's be honest, inflation is real. Every year, the value of money decreases as the cost of goods and services goes up. If you're just saving your money in a regular bank account, you're actually losing purchasing power over time. Investing helps you beat inflation and preserve the value of your money. It's one of the only ways to ensure that your future self can afford the same lifestyle or better than you have today. Now let's touch on freedom. One of the biggest reasons to invest early is to buy your freedom. When you have investments working for you, you're not solely dependent on your job or paycheck. Your money is making money while you sleep, while you travel, while you spend time with loved ones. That's financial freedom. Maybe you want to retire early. Maybe you want to take a year off to travel the world, start your own business, or pursue a passion project. Investing in your 20s gives you the flexibility and options to make those kinds of life decisions without being shackled to a paycheck. And let's not forget about generational wealth. When you start building wealth early, you're not just securing your future, you're changing the financial trajectory of your entire family. You can create a legacy, support your parents, fund your kids' education, or donate to causes you care about. Wealth is about more than fancy cars and designer clothes. It's about options, security, and impact. Now, you might be thinking, okay, this sounds great, but how do I actually start? Good question. First, get your financial foundation in order. That means having an emergency fund, ideally 3 to 6 months' worth of living expenses in a safe, accessible account. Then, tackle any high-interest debt like credit cards, because the interest on those will eat away any returns you make from investing. Once that's under control, decide on your investment goals. Are you saving for retirement, a house, travel, or financial independence? Your goals will determine your investment strategy. Then, choose your investment vehicles. For beginners, index funds and ETFs are great options because they're diversified, low-cost, and easy to manage. If your job offers a retirement plan, like a 401k or pension scheme, take advantage of it, especially if there's an employer match. That's free money. Start small, automate your contributions, and increase them over time as your income grows. Don't try to time the market or chase the next big thing. Consistency beats intensity. The people who win at investing aren't the ones making flashy, high-risk moves. They're the ones who stay the course, ride out the ups and downs, and let compound interest do its thing. And here's another truth. Investing isn't just about money. It teaches patience, resilience, and long-term thinking. It makes you consider your future self and make sacrifices today for a better tomorrow. It shapes your mindset, makes you feel empowered, and gives you a sense of control over your life. That's priceless. I know it can be intimidating at first. I remember when I bought my first stock, I had no idea what I was doing. I was terrified I'd lose everything, but the more I learned, the more confident I became. And the earlier you start, the more mistakes you can afford to make. In your 20s, mistakes are lessons. They're not as costly as waiting until you're 45 with 2 kids, a mortgage, and no retirement plan. So if you're watching this right now and you've been procrastinating on investing because you think you don't have enough money, time, or knowledge, let this be your sign. Start now. Start small. Start messy. Just start. Your future self will thank you. To wrap this up, let's remember this. You work hard for your money. Make sure your money works just as hard for you. Investing in your 20s is one of the smartest, most impactful decisions you can make for your financial future. It's not about getting rich overnight. It's about building wealth steadily, securing your freedom, and creating a life filled with choices. Thank you for listening. If this message hit you today, it means something. Share it with someone who needs to hear it. If you have questions, ask below. And if you're already investing, wherever you're starting, I'm proud of you. Keep going. This is the most powerful habit you'll ever build. And you've taken the first step. Welcome back to my channel. Today, we're going to talk about living frugally without feeling deprived. Many people believe that living frugally means sacrificing your happiness and quality of life. However, that's not necessarily true. With a little bit of planning and creativity, you can live a fulfilling life while saving money and building wealth. Frugal living is not about being cheap or stingy. It's about being resourceful and intentional with your resources. It's about making smart financial decisions that support your long-term goals and values. When you live frugally, you're not depriving yourself of things you want. You're actually creating a life that's more meaningful and fulfilling. You're focusing on what truly matters to you, and you're making conscious choices that align with your values. There are many benefits to living frugally. For one, it can help you save money and build wealth over time. By being mindful of your spending habits and making conscious choices, you can allocate your resources towards what truly matters to you. Living frugally can also reduce stress and anxiety. When you're mindful of your finances and making conscious choices, you'll feel more in control of your life. You'll also have more freedom to pursue your passions and interests. In addition to the financial benefits, living frugally can also have a positive impact on the environment. By reducing your consumption and waste, you can help reduce your carbon footprint and contribute to a more sustainable future. So, how can you start living frugally without feeling deprived? Here are some practical tips. 1. Track your expenses. Write down everything you spend money on for a month to get a clear picture of your spending habits. Point 2. Create a budget. Make a plan for how you want to allocate your resources. Prioritize your needs over your wants and allocate your resources towards what truly matters to you. Point 3. Cook at home. Cooking at home can save you a significant amount of money, and it's also healthier than eating out. Point 4. Shop during sales. Look for discounts and promotions on the things you need. Point 5. Use coupons, clip coupons, or use digital coupons to save money on groceries and other essentials. One of the biggest challenges of frugal living is overcoming the fear of missing out, FOMO. We often feel pressure to keep up with the latest trends or lifestyles, but the truth is, most people aren't paying attention to what you're doing. They're too busy worrying about their own lives. To overcome FOMO, focus on what truly adds value to your life. Invest in experiences, relationships, and personal growth. These are the things that will bring you long-term happiness, not material possessions. Living frugally is not about sacrificing your quality of life, but about living life intentionally. It's about being mindful of your choices and prioritizing what truly matters to you. By living frugally, you can create a life that's rich in experiences, relationships, and personal growth. In addition to saving money and building wealth, living frugally can also reduce stress and anxiety. When you're mindful of your finances and making conscious choices, you'll feel more in control of your life. You'll also have more freedom to pursue your passions and interests. So, how can you stay motivated and focused on your financial goals? One way is to set clear goals and track your progress. Celebrate your successes and learn from your setbacks. You can also find support from friends, family, or online communities. Another way to stay motivated is to focus on the benefits of living frugally. Think about how living frugally will improve your life and increase your sense of freedom and security. Visualize yourself achieving your financial goals and living the life you want. Building wealth is not just about saving money, it's also about investing it wisely. There are many ways to invest your money, including stocks, bonds, and real estate. When it comes to investing, it's essential to have a clear understanding of your financial goals and risk tolerance. You should also diversify your portfolio to minimize risk and maximize returns. One of the most effective ways to build wealth is to start early. Even small amounts of money can add up over time, thanks to the power of compound interest. Debt can be a significant obstacle to building wealth. However, it's not impossible to manage. By creating a plan to pay off your debt and sticking to it, you can free up more money in your budget to invest and build wealth. There are many strategies for managing debt, including the snowball method and the avalanche method. The snowball method involves paying off your smallest debts first, while the avalanche method involves paying off your debts with the highest interest rates first. In conclusion, living frugally without feeling deprived is a skill that can be developed with practice, patience, and persistence. By being mindful of your spending habits, making conscious choices, and prioritizing what truly matters to you, you can create a life that's fulfilling, sustainable, and aligned with your values. And finally, remember that living frugally is a journey, not a destination. It's about making progress, not perfection. Don't be too hard on yourself if you slip up. Just get back on track and keep moving forward. By living frugally, you can create a life that's rich in experiences, relationships, and personal growth. You can pursue your passions and interests, travel, and build meaningful connections with others. One of the most significant benefits of living frugally is the freedom it gives you. When you're not burdened by debt and financial stress, you have the freedom to pursue your goals and dreams. So, what are you waiting for? Start living frugally today and start building the life you want. Remember, every small step counts, and every dollar saved is a step closer to your financial goals. In conclusion, living frugally without feeling deprived is a skill that can be developed with practice, patience, and persistence. By being mindful of your spending habits, making conscious choices, and prioritizing what truly matters to you, you can create a life that's fulfilling, sustainable, and aligned with your values.